Welcome to a new day, a day filled with potential, a day where your hands will reach out to shape the world and your mind will grapple with the choices that define your future. I want you to take a deep breath with me right now. Feel the air fill your lungs and realize that this very breath is a gift, a sign that you are here for a purpose. We often wake up with a heavy heart, thinking about the bills that need to be paid, the investments that are fluctuating, or the retirement that seems both so close and so far away. We carry the weight of our families on our shoulders, wanting to provide, wanting to build a legacy that lasts. But before you step out into the world, before you open your laptop, before you walk onto the job site or enter the boardroom, there is something we must do together. We must align our hearts with the source of all blessing. We must recognize that while we are the ones doing the work, we are not the ones who ultimately control the results. This realization is not meant to make you feel small. It is meant to set you free. It is meant to take the crushing pressure off your chest and allow you to work with a sense of peace and clarity that the world simply cannot offer. I am Rabbi David. For many years I have studied the ancient wisdom of our people, looking for the threads that connect the spiritual world with the physical world, especially the world of finance and livelihood. I have seen how people struggle when they try to do it all on their own, and I have seen the transformation that happens when someone invites God into their business dealings. My mission is to help you bridge that gap, to show you that the Torah is not just a book for the synagogue, but a blueprint for a life of abundance, integrity, and true wealth. We are living in times of great uncertainty, and for those of you in the prime of your lives, aged 45, 55, 65, and beyond, the stakes feel higher than ever. You are thinking about how to protect what you have built, and how to ensure that your later years are marked by dignity rather than desperation. I want you to know that there is a way to navigate these waters using the compass of our tradition. It is a path that requires both effort and faith, both practical wisdom and spiritual devotion. And for those who are truly serious about accelerating their journey, for a limited time, I am opening the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School for just $299. This is where I unveil the complete Torah wealth system, the full architecture of ancient wisdom applied to modern financial transformation. You can find the link in the comments below this video, in the description, and if you are watching on my YouTube channel, you will also see a QR code on the banner of my channel page. Just open your phone camera, point it at the QR code, and it will take you directly to the school.
The doors are closing soon, so do not wait. When we talk about financial decisions, we are talking about more than just numbers on a screen. We are talking about the energy we put into the world. In our tradition, the word for work is melaka, which is the same root as the word for a king's messenger. When you go to work, you are not just earning a paycheck. You are acting as a messenger of the Creator to bring order and value to the world. But we must be very clear about one thing. Building wealth is a process. It is a marathon, not a sprint. The Torah teaches us that wealth gathered little by little grows, while wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. There are no shortcuts, and there are no guarantees. Every investment involves risk, and the markets do not always behave the way we want them to. Anyone who tells you that prayer alone will make you a millionaire overnight is not speaking the truth of our tradition. Prayer is not a vending machine where you put in a request and out comes a bag of gold. Rather, prayer is a way to refine your character, to sharpen your intuition, and to ask for the merit to be a vessel for God's blessing. It is about asking for the wisdom to make the right choices and the strength to persevere when things are difficult. Think about the patriarch Isaac. The Torah tells us that he sowed in the land and reaped 100-fold because God blessed him. But notice the order. He had to sow first. He had to do the physical work of planting the seeds in the dirt. He had to deal with the uncertainty of the weather and the quality of the soil. The blessing came upon the work of his hands. This is the fundamental principle of hishtadlut, or human effort. We are required to do our part to the best of our ability. We must educate ourselves about finance. We must be diligent in our professions, and we must be practical with our spending. But once we have done our part, we move into the realm of bitachon, which is absolute trust. We say to ourselves, I have done what I can, and now I leave the results to the one who sustains all life. This balance is the secret to a stress-free financial life. If you have too much effort and no faith, you become an anxious wreck. If you have too much faith and no effort, you become irresponsible. We strive for the middle path, where we work hard but sleep soundly, knowing that our ultimate security comes from above. As you prepare for your day, I want to share with you a specific prayer that has been whispered by generations of our people. It comes from the end of Psalm 90, a psalm attributed to Moses himself. The verse says, May the pleasantness of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands, establish thou it. Why does it repeat the phrase, the work of our hands? The commentators tell us that we are asking for two things. First, we ask that our work should be successful in the physical sense, that it should provide for our needs. Second, we ask that our work should have lasting spiritual value, that it should not just be a fleeting moment of profit, but something that contributes to the goodness of the world. When you say this prayer before you start your work, you are setting an intention. You are saying that you want your financial decisions to be guided by a higher light. You are asking for the pleasantness of God to be reflected in your interactions with your clients, your colleagues, and your competitors. Let us look deeper into this idea of letting God guide your financial decisions. In the Talmud, in the tractate of Shabbat, we are told that when a person eventually leaves this world and stands before the heavenly court, the very first question they are asked is, Did you conduct your business with integrity? They don't ask how much money you made or how big your house was. They ask if you were honest. They ask if your yes was a yes and your no was a no. This tells us that the way we handle money is the ultimate test of our spirituality. It is easy to be holy in a house of study or a place of prayer. But to be holy in the marketplace, when there is a chance to make a quick profit at someone else's expense, that is where true greatness is found. When you pray for guidance, you are asking for the moral clarity to choose honesty over greed. You are asking for the foresight to see that a small amount earned with integrity is worth far more than a fortune earned through deception. Integrity is the foundation of lasting wealth because it builds trust, and trust is the currency of all successful, long-term business relationships. For those of you who are in your 50s and 60s, you might be feeling a sense of urgency. Perhaps you feel you started too late, or perhaps you have faced setbacks that have depleted your savings. I want to encourage you. In the eyes of the Creator, it is never too late to begin a journey of wisdom. The Talmud teaches us that a person should always divide their wealth into 3 parts. 1/3 in land or real estate, 1/3 in business or commerce, and 1/3 to be kept readily available. This is ancient wisdom that predates modern portfolio theory by thousands of years. It is a call for diversification and liquidity. It is a practical strategy to manage risk. When we apply this kind of wisdom, we are using the tools God gave us to protect ourselves and our families. We don't just hope for the best, we plan for the best while preparing for the challenges. This is what it means to let God guide you. It means using the intelligence and the traditions He provided to make sober, rational decisions. Consider the concept of parnasa, which is the Hebrew word for livelihood. The root of the word implies something that is distributed or portioned out. Our sages teach that a person's income for the entire year is determined between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Now, this can be a difficult concept to grasp. If it's already determined, why do we work so hard? The answer lies in the vessel. Imagine God's blessing is like rain. The rain falls from the heavens, but if you don't have a bucket outside to catch it, you won't have any water to drink. Your work, your business, your investments, these are the buckets. The bigger and more stable the bucket, the more blessing you can hold. But the bucket itself doesn't create the rain. This perspective changes everything. It means that when you face a financial loss, you don't have to fall into despair, because the source of the rain is still there. And when you achieve a great success, you don't become arrogant, because you know you didn't create the rain yourself. You were just a diligent worker who put out a good bucket. This is why the prayer before work is so vital. It reminds us of our role. We say, Master of the universe, I am going out now to do my part. I am going to make phone calls. I am going to analyze spreadsheets. I am going to serve my customers. Please, let my efforts be fruitful. Give me the wisdom to see opportunities that others miss. Give me the courage to take calculated risks when they are appropriate, and the caution to walk away from deals that are not right for me. This kind of prayer creates a mental state of mindful finance. You are no longer just reacting to the market or following the crowd. You are operating from a place of centeredness. You are listening for that still, small voice that guides you toward the right path. For many of you, your biggest financial mistakes probably came from a place of fear or a place of greed. Prayer is the antidote to both. It calms the fear by reminding you that you are not alone, and it tempers the greed by reminding you of what truly matters. Let's talk about these specific challenges of the 45 to 65 age group. This is often called the sandwich generation. You may be supporting aging parents while also helping your adult children get on their feet. You are looking at your retirement accounts and wondering if they will be enough to sustain you for 20 or 30 years. The pressure can be immense. In the Torah, we see that the Levites retired from their heavy physical labor at the age of 50. But they didn't stop serving. They moved into roles of teaching and mentoring. This is a beautiful model for our lives. As we age, our work might change its character. It becomes less about raw hustle and more about wisdom, strategy, and legacy. You have decades of experience that are incredibly valuable. When you pray for guidance, ask God to show you how to leverage that experience. Perhaps it's a new business venture. Perhaps it's a consulting role. Or perhaps it's simply managing your existing assets with greater care. In the book of Deuteronomy, we are warned, "Beware lest you say in your heart, 'My power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth.'" This is a warning against the ego. The ego is the greatest enemy of sound financial planning. The ego wants to prove it's smarter than the market. The ego wants to show off with expensive purchases that don't build long-term value. The ego gets defensive when an investment goes south and refuses to cut losses. By starting your day with a prayer of humility, you are putting the ego in its place. You are acknowledging that you are a steward of the resources God has entrusted to you. A steward doesn't own the assets. He manages them for the benefit of the owner and the owner's purposes. When you view your wealth as a stewardship, your decisions become much clearer. You ask, is this a wise use of the Master's resources? Does this investment align with the values of the Torah? Will this help me provide for my family and contribute to my community? There is a fascinating teaching in the Talmud about a man named Honi, the circle maker. He saw an old man planting a carob tree and asked him, "How long will it take for this tree to bear fruit?" The man replied, 70 years. Honi asked, "Do you expect to live another 70 years to eat its fruit?" The man answered, "I found carob trees in the world because my forefathers planted them for me. Just as they planted for me, I plant for my children." This is the essence of long-term financial thinking. It is not just about what we can consume today. It is about the trees we plant for the next generation. For those of you in your 50s and 60s, this is the time to think about your carob trees. What kind of financial legacy are you leaving? Not just in terms of dollars and cents, but in terms of the values you pass on. Are you teaching your children and grandchildren the importance of hard work, integrity, and charity? Are you showing them that wealth is a tool for good? This is part of the guidance we seek from God, the ability to see beyond our own immediate needs. Now, I want to address the reality of risk. The world of finance is inherently uncertain. We have seen market crashes, inflation, and economic shifts that no one could have predicted. The Torah does not promise that if you are a good person, you will never lose money. Job was a righteous man, yet he lost everything before it was restored to him. What the Torah does promise is a framework for resilience. When we let God guide our decisions, we don't put all our eggs in one basket. We practice the 1/3 rule I mentioned earlier. We avoid the get-rich-quick schemes that the book of Proverbs warns against so frequently. We understand that true wealth is built over time through patience and discipline. If someone tells you they have a God-given secret to doubling your money in a month, run the other way. That is not how the Creator designed the world to work. He designed it so that we must put in the effort, learn the laws of nature and economics, and grow steadily. One of the most powerful ways to invite blessing into your financial life is through the practice of maser, or tithing. The word maser means a tenth. Our tradition teaches that we should give at least 10% of our net income to charity. There is a very unusual statement in the Talmud regarding this. Usually we are told not to test God. But regarding tithing, the prophet Malachi says, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and test me now in this, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you a blessing until there is no more room." The sages explain that tithing is like a hedge around our wealth. It protects what we have and opens the door for more. But notice the logic. By giving away 10%, you are proving to yourself and to the universe that you trust the source. You are saying, "I don't need to hoard every penny, because I know there is more where this came from." This mindset of abundance is the exact opposite of the mindset of scarcity that leads to so much financial stress. When you give, you become a channel for blessing, and a channel never stays dry. As you sit down to make your next financial decision, whether it's buying a stock, selling a property, or planning your estate, take a moment of silence. Close your eyes and visualize the light of wisdom descending upon you. Say the words, "Lord, I am seeking your guidance. Help me to see the truth of this situation. Remove the scales of greed and fear from my eyes. Let me act with wisdom, with patience, and with integrity. May the work of my hands be established." This is not a magic spell. It is a recalibration of your soul. It brings you back to your center. It allows you to use your analytical mind more effectively because you are no longer clouded by intense emotion. You might find that after this moment of prayer, a decision that seemed complicated suddenly becomes simple. Or you might feel a nudge to wait, to do more research, or to seek advice from a trusted professional. This is how the guidance often manifests, not as a booming voice from heaven, but as a sense of clarity and peace. As you move forward into your day, remember that every interaction, every transaction, and every decision is an opportunity to reveal the light of the Creator in the world of commerce. You are not just building a bank account, you are building a life of meaning. Stay focused, stay humble, and stay connected to the source. And remember, if you are ready to take this transformation to the highest possible level, the Torah Millionaire Business School is waiting for you. For a limited time, you can access the complete Torah Wealth System for just $299. This is the exact blueprint I have used to help thousands of people achieve massive financial and spiritual success. The doors are closing soon. Click the link in the comments, find it in the description, or scan the QR code on my channel banner right now. May the Almighty bless you with clarity in your thoughts, strength in your hands, and peace in your heart. May your work be a source of joy for you and a blessing for your family and for all of Israel. Go forth with confidence, knowing that when you walk with God, you never walk alone. May your journey be prosperous and your spirit be elevated. Shalom.